have given my statement in the Diddy trial. I have told the FBI all of Diddy's secrets. I have also revealed where Diddy's secret tunnels are. I have handed over his sex tapes as well. And now Diddy can never get out of jail.
They have found Sean Combs not guilty of leading a criminal enterprise, not guilty of racketeering conspiracy. They will now move to the other 4 counts, 2 of them on and on, and we have not guilty now on count 2, which was trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. Sean Combs has been found not guilty of trafficking when it comes to his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura.
Gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited in a month at the mansion party. You be looking in all the goddamn rooms, and you around and look in the wrong room. Come here. Is that kissing? Is one of the Professor Obi?
I've heard anybody else say until the federal government came in, because nobody knew, Mighty. Nobody knew before the federal government came in and hit Puff with those charges that any of this would have ever happened. You could not tell me, nobody could predict that this dude would be sitting on trial for his life.
Down $50 million 4 times just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Ours and get offered that kind of thing, like to compromise themselves sexually for entertainment.
I was as shocked as anybody about how powerful Harvey Weinstein was at the time that I was meeting with him, and how he could not be told no. You follow what I'm saying?
They'll figure out some way.
Right. So I thought that didn't apply to me because I don't care about nothing.
Diddy, once a symbol of hip-hop power, now faces a criminal case that questions everything he built. Katt Williams calls out the system behind the fame, exposing the hidden truths the industry tried to bury. The judge denied bail due to mandatory detention laws after the Mon Act conviction. Despite major charges being dropped, the prosecution was left disappointed with only 2 felony convictions.
Detention is mandatory with a Mann Act conviction, and there was no, there was limited exceptions there. Why exactly is he not out on bail, I guess, in layman's terms?
Under the statute in federal court, when you're convicted of certain types of offenses, detention is automatic. The defendant in this particular case was already detained, so it's a heavy burden for their defense to show that, well, Judge, he should be released despite the statute because these are the extraordinary and compelling circumstances that should allow his release and show that he's not a danger to community, he's not a flight risk, and he'll abide by all the terms and conditions of release. The judge apparently didn't think that the defense has met that burden, which is, as I said, a pretty high burden.
How big of a loss is this for the government? I mean, you're talking about major charges, racketeering, conspiracy. You have prosecuted these at this level, Joel. How big of a loss for them to put this case up and then for them to lose on the 3 most serious charges? I
don't like to say loss, wins and losses, because it's the system. The jury system spoke. I will say there's disappointments, and I'm sure the prosecution in this particular case is disappointed. They had a lot of witnesses. They had to deal with a lot of victims that said this happened. But it went to the jury, and the jury is a system, and that's what we have to have faith in. And they spoke, and that's the decision that is there. So I'm sure the prosecution's disappointed in it, but he's still convicted of 2 felonies.
We heard last night there were some jury members with unpersuadable views on this case. We know last night that racketeering, they were, that was not decided last night. What happened in the 1 hour this morning when they all got together and deliberated? Because it only took an hour.
I wish I knew. If I did, I'd be hired as a jury consultant. But that's a difficult time. I mean, from the prosecution and the defense, you don't know what's happening because we don't have access to what's happening in the jury room. And you have 12 different people from all different parts of, cross-section community debating about how they see the evidence and view it. And they came back and told the court that, well, we can't reach an agreement. And then at that point in time, the court could have given what's called an Allen charge. My understanding, they gave a partial Allen charge. And the Allen charge is kind of dreaded by some people, especially defense, because some people view that it forces the jury to make a decision. Mm-hmm. But it's not really the case. It's been tried and tested in the appellate courts. And the court goes through and reads it specifically and says, listen, jury, you're in the best position to decide this case. You've heard it for this many days or weeks or months. No one else is going to do a better job than you are right here. So I'm instructing you to go back and take a look at your viewpoints, discuss it amongst the other jurors, apply the law that I give you and see what happens. It's my understanding in this case, they give a partial Allen charge and the jury went back and listened to the judge.
With power came growing whispers, rumors of control and darkness. From former partners quietly surfaced. Then Cassie stepped forward, turning silence into spotlight. The trial uncovered a pattern of control and abuse, far beyond a single incident. Testimonies revealed years of alleged misconduct, leading to severe charges like racketeering and trafficking.
I had to turn down $50 million 4 times just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
So Katt Williams said it. The lawsuit started coming out right after he said it, and he said all would be exposed. He heavily implied, and this is again an allegation, that Lucien Grange was having some sort of a homosexual relationship with Diddy. So he is the person that controls Diddy, that Lucien Grange was aware of these parties, that Universal Music Group was aware of these parties. Essentially, that Diddy is the thug and the gangster working on behalf of Lucien Grange. They did not know that he was recording them. I mean, when I read through that lawsuit, Rodney made it very clear that he had hidden cameras. And if you are a person like LeBron who says ain't no party like a Diddy party, you got Ashton Kutcher talking about what happens at Diddy parties stays at Diddy parties. And finally you learn via the press that actually Diddy has been collecting evidence on all of you and you don't know where those tapes are. That will buy your silence for quite some time because you're hoping that if you keep your head low, you're not going to be revealed as one of these people that was engaged in some of these acts, whether they were heterosexual or homosexual, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're just cheating on your wife and you don't want that to get out into the public. Maybe you were, as Katt Williams described it, in one of the rooms. He said you could just walk around the house. He said this on stage years ago, that you could walk around the house and you would see people engaged in various sex acts. And again, Katt Williams was someone who was dismissed as crazy and dismissed as a drug addict. And it turned out that, or it seems that if these allegations are proven to be true, and I believe they are, then he was telling the truth.
Do you think that like stars and get offered that kind of thing, like to compromise themselves sexually for entertainment?
I was as shocked as anybody about how powerful Harvey Weinstein was at the time that I was meeting with him and how he could not be told no. You follow what I'm saying?
They'll figure out some way.
Right. So I thought that didn't apply to me because I don't care about nothing but bitches and good business, right? In these scary situations, I don't even leave it up to me. Like, I'm going to do what the superhero would do in this part of the movie, regardless.
That's a good way to think about things in general.
Yeah.
What would the superhero do?
Katt Williams called the trial a choreographed cover-up, not true justice. He believes Hollywood protects
Diddy's trial. I mean, this Diddy situation is getting nastier and nastier and nastier. Rob, before I read this, is there anything you have? Obviously, the only thing we can see is paintings and drawings and all this other stuff.
And that artist should never, ever hold a paintbrush or a drawing pencil. That artist, in this the case, is horrible. And we'll show. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just. So Cassie Ventura testified Sean Diddy Combs controlled freak-off sessions, directing her to have male escorts, stating sometimes Sean and the escort would have intercourse with me. It was just like a A lot happening at once, and specifying that escorts would ejaculate usually when it was okay for them. Per Sean, often, this is a New York Post story, folks, so earmuffs. Often on, if you got kids, just don't, I'm going to read this next part. I should have given you a warning. But if you got kids, pause the video and then continue. Often on her body, after which, are we really reading this? Urinating on her? Saying
it gets pretty.
Sean, he himself or the escort would urinate on me, including an overwhelming incident where she choked because too much urine was in her mouth. What?
Yep.
Ventura detailed the degrading nature of these drug-fueled freak-offs, noting she was high on ecstasy and MDMA, feeling sick almost every time, yet Combs would push her to continue, saying, continue on with the intercourse, even if I felt like vomiting or if I was vomiting. She described the session where a blow-up pool filled with baby oil applied every 5 minutes to keep participants glistening, and revealed Combs once left the freak-off to comfort rival Suge Knight. What?
Yeah. No, to confront Suge Knight, not comfort.
To confront Suge Knight.
Hey, Suge, let me get real comfortable with you, baby.
Please don't do anything stupid.
I heard that you bought a military base in Alabama. Is that true? A military base?
As starving comedians would do.
Now, I don't know if you're being truthful or not. Did you really buy one?
Yeah, Fort McClellan. Yeah,
What?
because the reason why like my life works in golf and off the golf course is because I follow instruction well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I see somebody do a good job, I just want to do a good job.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow the example.
Yeah.
Right? So Tyler Perry got a military base.
That's correct.
Made it into a movie studio and started making movies. Katt Williams.
Bought a military base. Are you making movies?
I'm not wearing dresses. Making movies.
You're missing the point.
Katt Williams believes Diddy was never the top, just a bridge between fame and something more secretive. When secrets risk exposure, he becomes a controlled sacrifice, protecting the powerful names above him.
To reflect on the darkest times in your life, sometimes you got to do that. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy. Going to rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
We are going to hear from Cassie this week, along with another witness named Jane. They said we're going to see videos of these freak-offs, and it's going to be very uncomfortable.
He was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy.
The point of her testimony is, I don't think it's very much so the RICO, it's the trafficking. Okay, they're trying to prove the trafficking charge. And the trafficking charge is going to be trafficked by fraud. So the by fraud means she was lied to. So it was a thing last week where they wanted to insert her her notepad from, like your notes in your iPhone, where you just go and jot down things, the notes app. So she would put down notes in her, she would actually write out text messages in her notes app where she would want to send to Diddy. So they were introducing them. Inevitably, they ended up introducing them. But the defense did not want them to introduce those notepad, text messages into evidence. But the prosecution said, no, we want to introduce those because it's not hearsay, but it goes to state of mind. And state of mind is what they need to prove for the trafficking by fraud. So the notes that she wanted to send to Diddy is in those notes, it goes to what she was thinking, how she felt. It went to her state of mind. And what the prosecution is trying to prove or imply, and what Jane Doe is saying is, hey, I was frauded by him in traffic. Frauded means I thought that we were going to be in a relationship. I thought we were together. However, I was just a subject. He lied to me. The lie is the fraud. I hope I made that make sense. So this is the point of her testimony, to show that she was trafficked by fraud. She didn't realize she was trafficked, but she was lied to and deceived into being trafficked. So just so everybody knows, that's what it's given. Okay? And one thing that I also learned too is a lot of these people talking about being flown out, flied out. If you fly somebody out and that person then decides they were uncomfortable and you guys, messed around, or if you discuss, hey, I'm gonna fly you out, we're gonna around this weekend, whatever the case may be, whether you discuss it or whether you not, it gets really, really blurry. And that person can press charges against you and you can be charged with trafficking. So for all these people want to be flew out, you got to watch who you fly out, because if they flip a switch on you, you could be a trafficker. Just FYI.
Flores. He's a police officer for LAPD, but more notably is before he used to work for Securitas, and he had worked at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City in California. So when they were talking about March 5th of 2016, this witness, who again was for the government, he got a call about a woman in distress on the 6th floor of this hotel. And so he says during his testimony, he had observed a male and a female in the lobby. He recognized that this male was Sean Combs. And so at the time, he was working as the assistant director for the Intercontinental Hotel. So, his responsibilities were to respond to incidents, train trainees pretty much. And then he later on became the director. And that's kind of important, mainly because it kind of controlled what he was and wasn't able to do when it came to this surveillance video. So, for example, as an assistant director, he wasn't able to rewind it past a certain time frame. He wasn't even able to download it or even download this video to attach onto the incident report or anything like that. So, again, he was serving as an assistant director in that capacity at the time that this incident had occurred. When they were talking about the surveillance video, Officer Flores was talking about how every floor of the hotel had cameras. They were motion activated cameras, by the way. Again, they had the capacity to rewind and download these types of videos, but only the director of security was able to do so. And he didn't take over that role until later on. But as far as, him writing up incidents reports, because we got to see that exhibit was we got to see the exhibit of the incident report from that day in 2016. So before he responded to the call, he said he looked at the cameras. He saw a black man pacing back and forth. Then when he arrived onto the 6th floor, he saw Diddy, or Sean Combs, in a towel, and then saw Cassie in the corner covering her face. He said he didn't know it was Cassie immediately. He just pretty much recognized Diddy. He said that Diddy's demeanor, and this is a pretty interesting point, Jesse, was a blank stare, and said it was a devilish stare. Diddy at this point is still in his hotel, is still in his towel. He's still wearing socks. Another interesting point is that they refer to Cassie as Cece, but that she was pretty much scared and frightened.
According to Katt Williams, Diddy's wild parties weren't just chaos. They were calculated moves to gain leverage and silence others.
Scott, who testified about Cassie's them, said she it. And I'm pretty sure if anyone would know, it would be the men who were balls deep inside of her. It was damning. Not to mention her current husband, it was in court, he was painted as the white knight in shining armor. Well, she was behind his back. Now, why do you do that if you've escaped this hell lifestyle that you were living for 10 years, weirdly? I mean, it was quite a long time. Why do you then go back to Diddy after you've escaped from him? And then you send Diddy messages when you're with the new husband saying, I'm lost without you. And that wasn't even the first time she cheated on someone with Diddy. When she left Diddy for Cudi midway through their relationship, she went back to Diddy, not just to by the way, to carry on doing more offs. She should be going to Diddy, having a party with him, sucking all this right, and then going back to hoodie, kissing him. Not only does that totally demonstrate that she had the free will to leave Diddy, go back to Diddy, and then leave him at the end of their relationship with no struggle from Diddy. No, you can't do this. I've got you under my control. There was none of that. She had the power to do what she wanted when she wanted, and that was obvious. Especially when you read the text messages. When do you want to freak off? Lol, from Diddy. She says, lol, I'm just going up to change. I'm always ready to freak off. Lol, lol. There were so many messages of her just gagging for it. Let's be honest here. In another message about freak off, she said, I want to choke on those. I want it to be uncontrollable. There was one time when he went on a trip for work or something, and she messaged him after he left saying, I really wish we'd freaked off before you left. She was actively encouraging it. You don't need to say that. If you're a reluctant participant, you could just be like, no, I'm all good, mate. And she's like, no, please, let's do more. For me, this was a real bad one because this poor bastard here, she made her current husband look like a mug. So after she'd got with him, she was texting Diddy, flirting with Diddy, and Diddy says to her, do you want to have a freak off for one last time? She replies that she wanted to have a freak off for the first time for the rest of our lives. That is someone who was still begging for them and begging to be back with Diddy, even though she's with this chump. Not to mention the countless messages that she sent Diddy about how loved up they were. And when it came to the actual escorts that they were using for these events, she would choose them, she would book them. She was fully instrumental in the whole process. She was just as involved as Diddy was. I don't understand how, Diddy is getting done for transporting prostitutes. She was just organizing it as well. And I remember we all felt guilty for her when it came out that this escort had peed on her face or in her mouth or whatever. And then they cross-examined the escort and he was like, no, it was her who told us to do it. It wasn't just Diddy, it was her. I mean, that is a low moment really, isn't it? When you've come in acting like a victim and it's just like, me, man. What her it must be. I mean, he had children with her. Every time he kisses her, he's got to think of someone pissing in her mouth. It's just mad. And let's not kid ourselves as to why she did all of this, right? Maybe she was into the but the real reason was the financial benefits. Diddy paid for her house, cars, gifts, all of that.
He believes the real threat isn't just Diddy's actions, but what he knows. Andrew's afraid of him. Speaking next. Like, share, and subscribe.
All those things. When you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, he wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers coming to make the approach.
Making all kind of, he had his own news network. Didn't you see, give me thoughts when you say like Bow Wow say that he is upset or he feels the way that there's no more Diddy parties. Like, he's like almost like he's fiending for the Diddy parties. Like, man, it ain't going down like it was.
So let me ask y'all a question right now. If Bow Wow came into this room without anybody knowing anything he did, and a group of females came into this room, who gonna get the females first, y'all or him?
If
they don't know,
yeah, he said they don't know who
they
Bow Wow
don't know
is.
who he is.
He's just Shad Moss from up the road.
Oh.
Yeah, nah, we getting that
Who's gonna
action.
get the females first?
Yeah, because Bow Wow did walk in this room, but he was Bow Wow. But no, Bow Wow is he have to like bat his eyes or something.
We don't bow ass.
Yeah, nah. No shade to Shad. No shade to Shad.
There's no shade.
No shade to Shad, but
Right. So if you can be a person who can show up you can show up to a place, and everybody here is paid to come in here and do what they do, of course you gonna miss that.
Yeah, man.
You going to a party and everybody
Wow, man.
You can pull anybody you want, male or female, to the bathroom and get a blow.
Yeah.
You gonna miss that.
Yeah, damn. All right, well, it's a drought then. It's a drought.
That drought make people crash out. But you know.
It's a drought. What can you give me one celebrity you were surprised to see at a party in a way that you were surprised to see him, male or female? Like, you might have had an idea about him, then you see him like, there ain't no way that this person's doing this with that or doing this like that or whatever.
No.
Okay, yeah, he said, goddamn, I can't do that.
No. Like after my first like year of like being like working with like celebrities, I figured out what it was. I said, oh, so they all like this.
Alcohol.
Huh?
Does it always start with alcohol whenever?
No, a lot of them don't even drink.
Oh.
It's just them.
Just come in like,
bro,
I'm great.
So you got different levels of, but you got horny man, and then you got real horny man. You feel me?
So, what's the craziest thing you've seen?
What about the animals? Well, animals were
like the craziest thing that she was like, oh, nah, bro, I ain't, nah, bro, it's
I walked in on a guy in like a mascot outfit with another person in a mascot like outfit, like dry humping in the floor.
That's some funny shit to walk into.
Yeah, when I first seen it, I just walked past. I'm like, what the fuck you got going on? So I go to the refrigerator, I give him my
fully costume.
I don't know, man.
This wasn't a Halloween party. It don't even matter, but
this was March. This is not
Spring break.
They call themselves furries.
Oh, furry fetish.
Yeah, I quit on the spot.
I heard of that. Yeah.
I said, I don't know.
How many? Because you said you have to go to the car lot. Like, damn, I'm gonna be in the car.
Yeah.
How many times you be like, I'm gonna just be in the car?
Yeah, so I really started making it my protocol. Like, text me if it get dangerous. I'm gonna come in and demonstrate. You feel me? But like, but you just get tired of like bro. I don't want to see naked men, bro. That's my preference, though.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to have that preference. So like, you get tired of that, bro.
How do you handle being hit on?
Yeah, so that's another reason why I go to the car, because you can't be that guy at the gay party getting mad at the gay dudes hitting on you.
Right.
You at they function. So now you gonna be homophobic in here?
What?
You the jerk right now. You the clown.